The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
This is Africa Diaspora Connect.
Join us as we take the journey from the motherland to America.
We share our experiences and learn from them.
Here is our host, Kibathi Gaturu.
Welcome once again, audience. Africa Diaspora Connects. I have with me the panel of panels. I feel old today. For some reason, the class of 2021. This is it. I'll have you guys introduce yourselves, all the way from George down to Meggan. Name, major, one fun fact about yourself, and I'll take it from there. Go ahead, George.
My name is George Kufai. I am a recent graduate from Brown University with a Bachelor's of Science in Biomedical Engineering. And one fun fact about me is at one point I spoke 4 languages, but I can only speak 3 now.
And what are those 3 languages you speak?
It was Spanish, Kikuyu, Swahili, and English, but my Spanish is rusty. I studied abroad in Spain.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you can speak Kikuyu
Yes.
as well as Swahili?
Kikuyu better than Swahili.
All right. Fun fact. I just learned that. All right, Abby, you're next.
Hi, my name is Abby or Abigail Maina. I studied in UMass Lowell and I studied Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration with a concentration in accounting. Yeah, and I guess it's not exactly a fun fact, but I like to dance.
All right.
So yeah.
All right. I was a business administration major as well, Worcester State University with a concentration in accounting. Ha! Ha!
Yes.
But my numbers didn't balance, so...
It's a common theme.
It's a common
You just
theme.
have to find the materiality of how much you're willing to, it's fine if we don't find this.
Oh, yeah, she's fudging numbers already. Let's see how that goes. All right, young lady, what's your name?
I'm Vanessa Kibathi. I graduated from UMass Lowell as well with a Bachelor's in Science in Public Health and a minor in Biology. A fun fact about me, I like singing, but don't ask me to sing because I won't sing for you.
You look familiar, but we'll tell a story for another day.
I don't think I've seen you.
All right. This is what you get. Meggan.
So my name is Meggan Mwangi, and I graduated last year, but I'm blending in with the crowd.
Okay.
With my Bachelor of Science in Neurobiology and Medical Science, and...
From where?
Oh, from Bay Path University, just outside of Springfield.
All right.
And a fun fact, I just came from the Bahamas with
Yeah,
some girls.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, Bahamas.
Little girls trip, yeah.
We need to talk about this Bahamas
some fresh
trip.
tans going on.
Yeah. I need some more inside scoop on this Bahamas trip, but we'll discuss that.
It's a girls only thing.
Girls only. Wow, this is the pride and joy of any parent, folks. Viewers out there, Africa Diaspora Connects, we live for this moment in time 4 years later and seeing these, the trend into adulthood. For us was, the group called Boys to Men back in the day, childhood to adulthood. And I think the bridge of those 4 years and finally getting it done is amazing. So kudos to each and every one of you and your parents in this journey that you have undertaken. Let me pay some bills first before we get started. This episode is brought to you by CarePlus Healthcare Staffing, providing nursing solutions to a wide array of facilities ranging from nursing homes and group homes, assisted living facilities, you name it. It's a one-stop healthcare staffing agency offering vetted healthcare staffing solutions for CNAs, LPNs, RNs. Worcester, Middlesex, Hampton counties, you name it, all over the place. Worcester, Lowell, Springfield. A woman-owned business, minority and registered by the Chamber of Commerce. So once again, CNAs, LPNs, RNs, look no further for your staffing needs. CarePlus Healthcare Staffing, 774-232-9548. Naomi Maina, President, CEO. Now that's done. Bills are paid. And by the way, if you haven't already subscribed, this is it. Social media, we need you guys. We're on Facebook, on YouTube, Africa Diaspora Connects. That's where we are. You can listen to us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And I'm looking for you guys to get this one out. Your demographics, it's gonna be something else.
All right.
Dare to dream. George, Dare to Dream. My goodness, I've listened to that 17 million times already. That journey, you caught my attention. It went viral. You speak about growing up without a father. It sounds like you lost your father as a young man, as a young kid. Talks about the trip to America with your moms. I hear immigration. I hear prison. I hear something of that nature. I hear have to overcome, and how the hell do you start from just coming from a humble village back in the motherland to finally set foot in the Ivy Leagues of Ivy Leagues, and how to get accepted in an institution like that without overly feeling like you're just by yourself and maybe you don't belong, and how you assimilate. Walk us through this Dare to Dream, man, because it's fascinating. I touch on all these areas.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you get into that, just that dreaming aspect and everything you touched on?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, if there's one thing that's been consistent in all of my life, despite whatever season I was in, whatever I was battling at the time, is that I saw something bigger for my life. Is that I was able to dream outside of my circumstances.
Understood.
And I think that's what's allowed me to be able to go from Kenya to Lowell High School to Brown on a full ride to San Francisco next, whatever it may be. I think it's that aspect to be able to dream outside of my circumstances. So when I was writing that the seniors classes speech, that's what I wanted to tell people is dare to dream outside of your circumstances.
Dare to dream, and it's taking you far. San Francisco is your next frontier, folks. You know, the boy child, and I say this, and my audience will attest to it as parents. You know, the boy child we've had a lot of issues, and I think you coming up front and daring to dream and doing what you have done, and hopefully other young men out there who are going through something, who are aspiring for something, dare to dream, man. It can be done. Dare to dream. Abby, now accounting, business, administration. Walk us through your journey, and why did you choose accounting, and how did you get involved? What's it about accounting and numbers?
Ever since I was young, I just liked something about banks.
Okay.
I didn't understand why, but I liked to see a teller, and I'm like, oh, I want to be an accountant like that. And growing up, I didn't understand what that meant, and then coming to America and getting the free opportunity to pursue literally anything you want.
Yes.
I wanted to become an international business student major.
Okay.
And that one I was like, you know what, I'll get to travel.
Uh-huh.
It's not that. International business is not that. So I had a friend who wanted to do accounting. I was like, I have time. It's for freshman year. I'll try that.
Yeah.
And as soon as I took the classes, I fell in love with the material. Like the first time in life, I actually liked going to school and learning and doing all the numbers. Like I don't know. All my friends saying I'd be the accountant in this group. Yeah. So, I mean, I do love
expenses.
She does all the expenses. Yeah. You do all the spending. I go, yeah, go ahead, Abby.
Yeah, and I've had the privilege and honor to work in a public accounting firm. Actually, it's pretty much down the street. Well, not really down the street, but it's in Tewksbury. And I've worked in their tax department and audit department, and absolutely loved it. Because,
God.
I mean, it is challenging in the busy seasons, but I loved it.
But that is amazing. You give me the heebie-jeebies just remembering back in the day. I worked for Deloitte back in the day.
Wow.
When I graduated.
Wow.
I used to be pretty smart, but she doesn't believe that. My numbers didn't still balance, but just remembering the internship, the best thing you can do, pursuing an internship while you're in college and getting a chance to really have hands-on experience. I'm assuming they're going to give you an offer now. What's going to happen?
I mean, they've kept me for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the point. They don't keep somebody they don't want around. So I've started from their tax department all the way to audit department, and right now I'm working in their due diligence department.
Wow.
So yes.
CPA in the horizon. When do you sit
Yes, that is the goal.
Uh-huh.
So I want to finish my master's first before I start my CPA because studying for the CPA is a completely different beast.
No, tell me about it. Yeah.
Completely different beast.
Yeah,
so I
it.
want to finish my master's first because that will also expand my knowledge in accounting, and it will definitely aid in my studying of the CPA exam. But yes, that is definitely in the books.
Wow, Africa Diaspora Connects. Listen to that fluency. You know what I'm saying? This is what we dream of. Your folks must be really proud of you. Congratulations.
Yes, they are.
Yes, young lady. How about yours? How your journey? Picking your major. How did that come around? What do you want to be when you grow up?
So I always knew I wanted to be in the medical field since I was a little girl, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to be in. And when I applied for college, I wasn't going to apply for biology because that's what everyone assumes. Like if you want to go into like be a doctor or anything, like do biology. But I was like, I didn't really feel the cells and all that. So I was like, I'll do public health. And going into it, I really didn't know what public health was. I just assumed that it was the public's health. So it was like, okay, that seems like it's something good. But actually, when I got into it, I really enjoyed it. And I really learned a lot, like more than just knowing the basics like of what's in your body and why you're sick or stuff like that. But I got to learn about how to keep the community healthy, the things that we need, the things that a lot of communities are lacking, and like how to help, especially during this pandemic.
I was going to ask.
Public health jobs are skyrocketing.
I can imagine. I was going to bring that up. Yeah, because I know your father wanted you to be a lawyer or something. Apparently, didn't listen to him, but it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. What does the future hold for you? What's next in line?
I'm currently applying to be a physician assistant, so it's a master's program.
It's a master's program. Well, I wish you all the best, and your dad is really proud of you, so keep it up.
Thank you.
Miss Meggan, these are twins. These two, they've been together all their lives, and I've seen them grow to these amazing, beautiful women. They actually even look alike now because they're so close. Meggan, your journey and the 4 years, your major you took, and what the future holds.
Yeah, so, I did neuroscience. It kind of was a funny story. I was in 7th grade and I watched the Benjamin Carson movie, Gifted Hands.
Oh my God. Yes. He was doing so well until he became a politician.
I know, but we won't get into that. Yeah. So I watched the movie in English class and it just was really interesting. And I said, I want to study the brain. It just looks really cool. And I just stuck with it. And so everyone was like, she's going to be a neuroscientist and she's going to be a neurosurgeon and everything. And then I actually got to college and I studied what it was like, which was really cool. I did a neuroscience internship at UMass Med, so I got to understand research, but I just gravitated, like she said, to medicine. I always knew it was something for me. But then I saw the commitment of what a neurosurgeon does, the years and years of schooling. And like I said, we just came from the Bahamas, and I love traveling, and I love spending time with family. So I just knew that my chances weren't over. I just didn't want to go through the whole med school process. So I decided that I wanted to do PA because, or physician assistant, as she said, because it gives you lateral mobility in your job. So if I start off being really aggressive and working as a PA, that's great. And if I want to settle down and have a family and do something more low pace, I can do primary care or work in a clinic. So I just liked what the job flexibility could give me. So after graduating last year, I applied to a few programs and I got into a few. So this August, I'll start at Northeastern University in Boston.
Terrific.
Yeah,
Kudos.
so that'll be fun.
Are they the Huskies? Who's Northeastern?
Yeah, the Huskies, yeah.
The Northeastern grad right there.
Really?
Mr.
You gotta give me all the tips.
Right there, my man.
Maybe an alum scholarship,
There
you
we
know?
go.
Hi, Uncle.
But audience, can you hear the fluency in these folks? I remember when you guys couldn't even spell your names. And now I hear you flow with so much articulation. It's like, wow, what happened? What happened here? Now, let me ask you, let's chime in here. Do you think your parents pushed too hard for you guys to choose a major? How does that work? How can you, anyone? Who wants to go first? Do we push too hard?
Honestly speaking, my parents didn't push me hard. If anything, they supported me. And I think that was the best decision because I didn't feel like I had to fit a certain mold that, let's be real. All the parents from Africa also, they're like, you be lawyer, doctor, or engineering, nothing else.
Guilty as charged.
So I didn't feel any of that pressure because, yes, my mom is in the medical field. She's an RN, and my dad did radiology. So, yes, there was pressure to become a doctor or something in the medical field, but they didn't push me in that sense. They supported me to do whatever I want because they understood the country we're in and the opportunities that it provides. Granted, it is difficult, but they supported me, and I think that's why I'm happy doing the thing I do is because I have the support no matter what happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Anyone else?
Yeah, I think for me, it wasn't even so much so my mom, but just in general, the community and the people we're around. Just the Kenyan community. There's that expectations, like you were saying, of doctor, lawyer, engineer. So that's the pressure that you feel growing up. And even if my mom didn't necessarily vocalize that, I still did feel that pressure that I have to go this way, this way, or this way. And my brother was an engineer, so there was even more pressure to
Younger, older?
go.
He's older?
He's older. Yes, he's older than me by 4 years.
Oh, wow.
So there was that just social pressure in my community to go one of those 3 ways. Yeah.
Twins here? What?
At the end of the day, my family was supportive of my decision. But there was a lot of pressure to do medicine, and I understand why that they say, doctors, lawyers, engineers, because they want you to have job security. They want you to succeed, and they want to see you thrive at whatever you're doing without worrying. But I think that, it's a bit of an adjustment to also understand, like, you don't have to, survive when you're kind of in this country and when you have us as privileged to be born here, some of us at least, just being in this country alone gives you the opportunity to pursue other things like accounting and whatever else you might want to do. So like my sister's doing like psychology. Before it was communications, and it was very scary because my dad didn't understand like, what does that mean for you? Because I'm pushing everyone to do medicine. But at the end of the day, sitting down and letting him know, like, it's okay. Like, as long as you push your kids to invest in whatever they're doing and you support that dream, it'll work out for everyone. You have a happy kid and you have someone that actually wants to do something for themselves. And the plans can change, and that's okay. Yeah. But as long as there is a plan.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. Shiko? Anything?
Let me tread carefully so I'm not kicked under. But definitely, I feel like it was harder during my high school years. Like being raised by a single father, of course, there's already a hardship in that. But once we got out of high school, definitely more understanding about what I wanted to do, and definitely more understanding about just what's been going on in the world and like mental health and all that. So I definitely felt supported in whatever I decided to do. Like at first I thought I was gonna, go to med school, but then I was like, I don't think I want to do that. I want to, like what Meggan said, like I wanted that more lateral mobility, more family time. But definitely I got the support 110%.
Yeah.
And the thing is, from a parent's perspective, like, do we push hard? Yeah, we do. Do we somehow vicariously want to live through guys? I guess so. It's like you want nothing but the best for your child. And that just comes with the territory. But I do believe there's also a fine line somewhere that needs to be drawn. I think we can be overly zealous. But I'll tell you this, my West African counterparts, the Nigerians, they don't play. You're going to be us. You go be a doctor. And the kids follow that line. Us East Africans, we push back. But listen, it is what it is. But there is a fine line. And at the end of the day, we want you to succeed. And we do want you out of the house at some point. Okay? so it's just a matter of we want nothing but the very best for you. Let's talk about challenges. I mean, this 4 years. Can someone highlight a challenge that you overcame in those 4 years? Because there's a lot of folks out there who are still trying to figure out their majors, who are going through a tough time. I remember when you were a freshman here, Shiko, it was tough just coming from high school into college. There's a bit. Can anyone bring up any challenges, tough challenges that you had to overcome, and something you can share with other folks who may go through the same thing?
I can take this one.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge that everybody goes through, no matter what, is the mental aspect of it. The mental capability you need to have to go into college, decide something that you need to do for the rest of your life. That is something that is not easy to do, because how do you know that this is going to work out 4 years down the line, 5 years down the line? How do you know that? So for me, the biggest challenge was coming to college. Okay, now I got to choose a major. I thought I knew I wanted to do something, but what do I really want to do? What is going to guarantee me the best path in life, And also moving to college, the curriculum is different. It is not high school by a long shot. So you have to the reason why I say mental, because you'll be challenged both physically, mentally, and spiritually.
Always.
You have to balance work, education, and also your friends and family. By the time you figure out who you are yourself, you're so far ahead, like you don't even understand what's happening. So I feel like I had to overcome that like mental challenge and have to find a balance. Who am I? What do I want to do?
Yeah.
And what am I going to get out of this? And how much am I willing to put for this life that I want?
And to add on to that, and you can chime in the same topic, outside of academia, outside of your major, what do those 4 years give you, Meggan? What do you think you get out of those 4 years? Forget about the major. What is it about? What do you get out of college, putting in those 4 hard, arduous years? What do you get out of it?
I definitely came out of it a different person than who I was before. I realized I had a lot of potential that I tapped into that I didn't think I had in high school, because you kind of just go through high school enjoying it, making new friends. You're just more worried about your social life, that now when you get to college, you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm now focused on my life rather than what my friends are doing. So now leaving college with a sense of understanding of who I am, how hard I can work, how far I can go when I put all my energy in it, because with college, you're just thrown in and you're just kind of told to swim, or you can drown and just end up dropping out and being back flat on your face. And it's hard when you don't have, for say, an older sibling or a family member that hasn't gone to college, because everyone's really pushing you to succeed. And it's so hard when you don't have someone to anchor onto. So I think for me, being able to support myself, it just showed how hard I can really work towards anything I put my mind to. And just having everyday people, uplift you along the way.
George, this one is for you. You guys had the privilege of going into 4-year institutions. There's some of us, of our children, who will start off with the community college aspect and go from there. Would you comment on any of that? Just being, starting from it's because one thing I say it's and one thing we don't give enough credit to is the 2-year institutions. We don't give them enough credence, and it's not really where you start. It's really where you end up. Any insights on someone who's going to start with the associates?
I think something I'd say is that you're going to get where you're supposed to be. And one thing to keep in mind in all of that is that this is not a race, because often we tend to compare ourselves to the next guy. And where are they headed? They're at this 4-year institution. They have this internship. They're doing this job. And I think as long as you're looking at this person, your journey is always going to feel like you fell short. It's always going to feel like you didn't live up if you're always looking at someone who's at a whole different place in life. And the biggest thing to remember is that your story is not their story. You have your own story written out for you, and you're going to get where you need to be as long as you continue to focus on your story. Whether that's 2-year university, then transfer to this place, you'll get where you need to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shiko, is there anything you would look back and say you wish you did it better? Is there anything that stands out in these 4 years that, if you look back, you'd have changed around?
Honestly, no, because I think I handled it pretty well. I went into school knowing that I'm not here to play games. I know that I have people that are supporting me, people are rooting me on, and the money going towards it. Like, I knew that I couldn't come here and play games, and I feel like that's what some people realize kind of later on, maybe their sophomore or junior year. But I knew going into freshman year that I had to be serious. Was I as serious as I was my junior year? No, but I wasn't slacking. So I definitely set a foundation for myself. So when I got to those harder classes junior year, I had that ability to slack a little bit, or if a class was too tough, because I started so strongly.
Okay. And the thing is, what you're saying makes sense, because in my line of work, I run a program for EMC. I was part of university relations, and it was an internship program, and we're targeting people of color, students of color, so historically black colleges and universities, and Hispanic serving institutions. And one thing about a resume, when I was going through resumes, especially, it's the GPAs for a lot of folks in the sophomore years, it's pretty down low. and because you're away from home for the first time around, and you don't have your parents nagging you, and some people decide to have a good time and party or sleep all day and not go to class. You know what I'm saying? And then what happens is it's your junior year, your GPA is at 1.8, and you're gonna try to convince me you're gonna graduate with a 3.5. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to learn that it's what you put in from your freshman year, and just build on that, and just acclimating to the college life, and just like you said, you didn't come to play games, and so that's critical. Now, you two were born in Kenya.
Yeah.
Now, and so I'm not too sure. How old were you when you came to the States?
I was 8 when
You
I
were
came
8.
here.
How about you, Abby?
I was 12.
You were 12.
Yeah.
Do you recall? You guys were too young, but the system. We have a very rigorous education system back in the motherland. Do you recall anything about the schooling system back there, or you don't recall that? All I'm thinking is, I think, and I'm trying to bash you guys who were born here, but those that come from the motherland, they gotta step up. They come in with a different ball game, because it's hard out there. I'm not saying it's easy over here, but it's. Have you heard any of those myths? Have you ever heard of that? Does that come up anywhere?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think.
What do you hear? What do you hear?
No, there's a lot of international students at my school, and we've had that conversations about just education back in Kenya and education, or wherever they're from, and education here. That there is a difference in rigor. There's a difference in also just mindset, because I think here you have a lot more leeway to be able to not do as well. Whereas if you're working or you're in school in a third world country, or wherever you may be, you know that there's a different mindset, be it from your family, be it from whatever situation you may be in. It's just a different mindset and different rigor.
I hear you. Africa Diaspora Connects. This is the future, the best and brightest that we have. College grads, class of 2020, 2021. We're loving it. Parents, kudos. It's been a struggle. As we start to wind down, guys, a parting shot. What would anything, George, you go first, come down with the ladies. Anything you'd just like to talk, anything, you want to give credit to, anything you'd like to add on as we wind down?
Yeah, absolutely. I think just as Kenyan diaspora, I think we have just so much promise in this country, just knowing my Kenyan friends and all that people are doing. And I'm just excited just to see just what this diaspora is doing, and the things we're going to accomplish just here in this country, but also back in the motherland.
Is there anything we could change, we as your parents, that comes up, anything that comes to mind like that? Anything?
Yeah.
Like what?
I think one thing that came up was just support, being able to support your children in their dreams even if it doesn't fit the mold that you expected for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Abby?
Wow, I kind of blanked there, but the thing I would literally tell anybody out there is that don't be afraid to go after what you want. Like he said, dare to dream, but also don't be discouraged when the thing you were daring to dream doesn't work out. Education never ends at any age. So if you feel like you're at that point, you know what, I have pursued this degree, I've gone into the job market, I've done whatever I want, and it's clearly not what I wanted, don't be afraid to go back and be like, you know what, it's all right for me to start over again and go actually for what I want, because you are not on anybody's timing but your own.
Understood.
You are holding your own life in your own hands, and it's only you who can bring it there, with the support of others, of course, but you are in charge and you are in control.
All right, good to know. Shiko.
Going off like what George said, like to the parents, like give your kids more credit. Even though they're not dealing with the struggles that you're dealing back home, there is struggles in the United States of America. And there's a lot that falls on us, especially when we know that our parents want us to be so great. So sometimes we might not talk to you about it, and we might look like we're doing okay, but we might not be, especially like if we're going through like rigorous courses or just any part of our lives. So just be more supportive. Like George said, if they're not going on the path that you may want them to go, ask them about it. Like, I think knowledge is power. So learn more about what they want to do and why they want to do it, and just support them in that way. Like Meggan said, as long as they have a plan, there's somewhere that they want to be. So that's for the parents. And then for the young adults, people that are maybe entering college or finishing college, just love yourself more. your mental health is very important before any education, before anybody in this world. So just make sure you take that time to reflect. If you feel really pressured, make sure you have someone to talk to, whether it's a family friend or even a therapist, just somebody to talk to, because the world is tough and it's really cruel. So just make sure that you stay grounded, whether it's spiritually or whatever it is. Like, I know for me, like, I turn to God a lot and like my church members a lot to like help me with some hard times. So just make sure that you focus on your mental health first before anything else, because without your mental health, you might look like you're getting somewhere, but at the end, you're not going to be anywhere.
Yeah.
Powerful. Maggie.
I mean, these are all great responses. Just to piggyback off of some of them, of course, mental health is number one. You got to make sure that you got you first and foremost before you can even get to the next step. Because if you don't have yourself together, how can you, look after other people and support other people in the best way that you can? So work on yourself first. And you have, a lot of time to do that. In college, especially for the young adults, you're going to be on your own for the first time, caring about you. And like I said, I left there a whole nother person. So take the time to get to know you as you grow into adulthood and get to figure yourself out. Also, networking is really important. Find people who are like-minded as you. Like in college, especially if you go to a big school, you'll find so many different clubs and communities who have your shared interests. So definitely connect with them, because it's nice to work with those with similar goals, because you tend to get to those goals faster or better, and maybe they know people who know people who know people. So I think that's also very important, and it'll get you ahead in life. And just always be optimistic about yourself. Like how Abby said about your dreams, just make sure that they're your dreams and not just what other people are trying to paint a picture for you. Like for me, I was always going to go to medical school up until my senior year of college, and I changed. And everyone was like, okay, go to PA school, but go back to med school. Like, that's not, I'm not going to go with your plan. I'm going to go with what works with me. And regardless, everyone will still be happy for you. So don't be afraid to change. And change is always good. We're always going to change, but just be true to who you are.
Yeah.
Africa Diaspora Connects, we have raised some fine, amazing children here who have become adults. On behalf of your parents, I want to say we love you, we appreciate you, and you are the best. We're looking up to you to be what and best that you can be. Bear with us when we're a bit overbearing. I know she has a brother. I know I give him a hard time. But it's not because we don't know any better. It's just we want the best. But and we're listening to you, and we understand where you're coming from. And when you see us push, just bear with us as well, because this is all we know, but it's good to communicate. And I think the key thing here is communication. So Africa Diaspora Connects, on behalf of these amazing scholars, we want to let you know the sky's the limit. You guys, I want you to share this thing. We're gonna, my anniversary is coming up in a few months for 1 year. I need to be at 2,000.
Okay.
All right, I'm still struggling at 1,300. All right, let's do this thing. Thank you so much, folks. Africa Diaspora Connects. Sayonara.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.